Bonuses are... I wish that all the episodes could just be bonuses because it feels so much more relaxed. So, guys, I'm with Mark. It's Sunday night. And me and Jenna our schedules were mismatched this week, so we just could not seem to, find a time to do this new episode. So Mark was just doing it with me. We were just trying to record it, and I made us stop because it just felt like I hate what I'm about to say. It sounds so annoying, and I hate it, but I don't know how else to describe it, except for saying that the vibes were off. It was just like...
Are you saying I wasn't vibing?
We weren't vibing in the episode.
Also, like, Indiana's, like, howling, like...
Yeah, I know, and it's late.
Our little pup is going through a stage where she's a mixed breed, and...
They know who Indiana is if they listen to the show.
Well, so she's got that Siberian Husky blood in her, so she likes to talk a little bit, and the last week...
Yep.
If you're not paying attention to her, she will howl and whine.
Crazy so
business.
Annoying. So she was whining, and it just, it's late. I'm a little bit tired. This episode is a really good one, but it's also a really long one. It took me a lot of time to research. And I just feel kind of like off. Like I haven't been drinking at all lately. I think I've talked about this maybe on our social media, but because me and Mark are going out of town, I saw that as a good opportunity to try and just like really push myself to eat clean and exercise as much as possible between, when we book the trip and when we leave, which is in a couple weeks. And I've been proud of myself. I've been working really fucking hard. But I haven't been drinking really at all. And then this weekend I gave in, and, we had the Halloween part. We went to a Halloween party for Mark's work on Friday. And then we went to Jenna's last night to have a late dinner and
watch the D-backs.
And watch the baseball game. I mean, I didn't watch the baseball game because I'm not a fan of baseball.
It was a sad game to watch.
For you.
For me.
Yeah.
For all you Phillies fans out there, great game.
Okay. Anyways, I think that after not drinking for weeks and then kind of drinking this weekend, I just feel a little like, meh. I don't feel my best. And I don't like, it's really hard to, I think that comes through on an episode if the vibes are off, or if like I'm not feeling it or you're not feeling it. Like, listeners can hear that. And I spend so much time researching and writing them that I don't want to
put out a not so good episode.
I don't want to put out something that's not like our best when I'm not at my best, in my best mood or whatever.
Well, let's have some playful fun with this little bonus episode.
Yeah, so we're going to do, so I made us turn off the recording and stop, and I got a little bit bitchy. Sorry. Don't look at me like that.
I didn't look, they can't see you.
I know.
Or me.
I know. But now we're going to do the bonus, and we'll try again tomorrow for the actual episode. What do I want to say about this bonus? So I need to tell you this was the one that me and Jenna did, and it was a great one, but there was a technical difficulty and we lost like the first half. So then I did it again with you.
Mexican wrestler crazy story.
Oh my God. No, I'm wrong. That's not it. I forgot there was one after that. We did David Heisler murder, and you didn't do that one, and you didn't listen to it either.
I have no idea about this. What the hell?
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. You can just listen, and it's not things really about the case, but I'll tell you what the case, I can read you the description of it.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay.
I can chime in whenever I want to. That's fine.
Yes, I know you can. That's how the bonus works. No editing. It's just very
I love
loose.
a chime in.
I know you do. In this episode, we journey to the heart of Santa Clara, Utah, where a bitter custody battle takes a left turn, leading to a troubling disappearance. As the case unfolds, police find little to no physical evidence, forcing them to rely on digital data for answers. In a race against time, police scramble to piece together a trail of digital breadcrumbs, hoping to find their missing person before they become a murder victim.
Whoa.
I like that description.
So that's like
a
a kidnapping?
Well, he was
an abduction.
Yeah, he was taken from his home and he was missing for a long time.
He was taken from his home?
Yes, David Heisler, was the victim. And then they found him dead. But his
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, the episode's out. People have
Okay,
already
yeah.
listened. Yeah, you just don't know anything about it. So for anybody listening, they're like, this is fucking boring. I already listened to the episode. I don't need to hear it again. But a lot of the lookup stuff has to do with digital data, which I'm guessing you know nothing about because you're not exactly technologically
Like
savvy.
facial recognition, like pulling like images off of like ATM cameras and shit.
I mean, I guess that would count, but no, not exactly. Like, what do you think your digital footprint is? I'd love to hear you explain that to me.
Oh, like my emails, like my web searches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yours is probably like horrifying.
Oh yeah, it's just terrible. But you know that guy, like it was like insurance fraud or something like that. I forget exactly where it was, but he during sentencing they were like, "You're gonna get rocked," and he like leaned down and he put something in his mouth, and then he gave himself a cyanide pill. And then, like, after they looked on his web search, it's like, oh, how do you get cyanide? How do you get it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's been sentenced to, like, 40 years. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to kill myself, you know?
Oh, that's a dark story. Thanks for sharing.
No, but also, like, your text messages, like, everybody's like, text messages are there forever.
They're there for a long time, yeah. But most...
I mean, they're there for years.
Well, but most...
It's in the cloud.
Most providers, like cell phone providers... police can get your cell phone records with a subpoena. Or a lot of phone companies will just hand them over. It's different from phone company to phone company. Me and Jenna, we've done a couple episodes where we've had to kind of look into this. But most of the time, if you get your phone records or if the police get your phone records, they can't see what was said in the text messages. I think if they do like a deep dive, then they can. But they can see... just kind of the base, if they just get the most surface level phone records.
You called this person 9 times and you said you didn't know him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So, one of the questions that Jenna had for me in the episode was, you know how when you make a phone call, it like pings a cell tower. So like if I went missing, you could, they would look and see like, well, who's the last person she called? What cell tower did it ping? That's where she's in that, to know where I'm in that area. And so Jenna had asked, does it do the same thing with text messages? Or is it just when you make a phone call?
Well, I don't think it's even like a phone call or a text message because like if you have your Wi-Fi on and your Bluetooth and all that, it's always trying to connect. So it shows that you're connected to that network is what I understand. It's kind of like tracking. Like I have an AirTag for work with keys because I started doing that because we have because we have like a lot of like facilities keys that like have to be checked out and checked in. So we AirTag them because if they get lost, like you're talking about like facilities like schools and stuff like that, like they will. These are district wide,
like.
All right. Anyways,
it's okay. On a bonus, you can talk about how you say like a lot.
But it's funny because it's tagged to my work phone, but the keys are still in my truck. So when I went out to my mom's house and everything, it's like tracking me because like my phone showed me, oh, I recognize an AirTag that's like near your phone. It's following you basically.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, I went to Home Depot and I went over here and I was like, it's right there.
Well, I think your phone does that anyways, even without an AirTag. Like if you have location services on, your phone is tracking you everywhere you go. But an AirTag, and I only said like you do like that because what I know of AirTags is them being used for like nefarious like reasons,
like stalking business and whatnot.
Well, right, like or like at a bar. Like this has happened where like a dude slips an AirTag in a girl's purse or something like that, or on the back of her car, so then he can follow her home and know where she lives.
So creepy.
Yeah, super creepy.
Great technology, bad use of it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cases of bad uses of AirTags. I think we've actually talked about it. Anyways, Jenna's question was, do text messages also like ding a cell tower? And the I don't know. The long and short answer is like yes, but kind of what I just said. I mean, it's you using your cell phone is what's dinging the cell tower, and if your location services are on, so
essentially you're constantly tracked unless you turn all that shit off.
Exactly.
So they can figure out where you were.
Yep. It's your geolocation. When you send a text message or place a call, your phone's location is often being recorded when connecting to a nearby cell tower. Dates and times are recorded. as well as the service that's being engaged. Like, is it SMS or 5G or 4G, all that, which I don't totally understand all
Well,
that.
it makes sense. Like, anyways, there's a lot of information there.
Yes.
I was at Wendy's and you were at Burger King. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what's going on?
Yes, exactly. Yes, you can find. I mean, like somebody's cell phone. It's so weird to think about, because think about like, and again, I'm aging myself, but back in like when we were in high school, I just had like almost as much as you do.
Whoa.
You had a wallet. Maybe you had a pager or a flip phone later in high school. You're older than me, so you probably didn't have a cell phone in high school.
Well, it wasn't a flip phone. They didn't have flip phones. But I had like a...
car phone?
It was like a no-com or something like that. It was like... What was weird about that phone is my first cell phone I got when I was like 17, like after I moved out of the house. Because I moved out... My brother was older than me, and he like got an apartment. And I was
You moved out when you were 17?
Yeah.
Ugh, weird.
Well, whatever. My brother had a thing. Like, it was like, that's this room
Kevin?
together. Yeah. And I had this cell phone, and my 1974 Camaro.
You just are telling the story because you wanted to share about your 1974 Camaro.
It was a cool car. But anyways, I had the car. I bought it when I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just like put a CD player in and whatever. And when I got the cell phone,
Mm-hmm.
I like got in my car and I'm driving, and then the stereo went out and it blew a fuse. And I was like, this is weird. And well, like, I didn't think it was weird. I was like, it's an old ass car, like, it just blew a fuse.
Okay.
And so I got a new fuse, and then it blew out again. And I was like, well, I have an electrical problem in my car. This sucks. But then one time, because it was like, every minute cost $1 million back then. So like, you just had it like
For emergencies.
Yeah, my
your
parents
cell
like
phone.
got it.
Yeah.
They're like, my mom's like, oh, I want to be able to get a hold of you. It's
Sure.
like you like call somebody like, dude, what's up? You want to hang out? Yeah, hang up the fucking phone because like it's costing me a fortune. Just say, hey, I'll see you in 2 seconds. Boom,
Right.
over. And I forgot my phone one time, and it worked great.
The car worked great.
The stereo didn't blow out the fuse that ran it.
Oh, your cell phone was triggering something.
Some weird reason of like the.
Did you ever figure it out?
Yeah, I literally got in my car, and I had my cell phone, I turned it off. I got in my car, I was driving, I was listening to stereo for like driving around the city, and then I turned it on, and within like 1 minute, it blew the fuse on the thing. It's like for some reason that phone, the frequency
Weird.
of like the radio, like I don't even know what it is, but it was consistent.
So how
I did
did
it like
you
3 times.
solve that? You just didn't use your phone
I turned
in your
off my
car?
phone when I get in my car.
Oh, that's really
Because
annoying.
I wanted to listen to Metallica and Motley Crue, and like no one was calling me anyway,
Wow. Jim is good friends with Metallica and like toured with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but no, I had a point and then you took over the story. What else is new?
Do you want me to tell you the point?
No, I'm going to tell you the point. What I was saying is, back, I'm just going to speak for myself. When I was in high school, I had a pager. And then I think later in high school, I did have a cell phone. And, but when you'd go anywhere, you had like your wallet, your cell phone. I usually had a disposable camera or two with me. You know what I mean? Like you had you had all of these different things that now all are just one. Because my cell phone case is a wallet also. So all I ever really need is my cell phone. It has my ID, my debit card. It has cash in it.
Yeah, you don't even need a CD player anymore. It's all online. Yeah.
Well, right, exactly. Yes, or in my car when my first car was a Jeep, an old Jeep Wrangler, and I had a Discman, and there was a special thing where you would plug a cord, you'd plug into your Discman,
tape deck.
and then you'd have a tape at the end of that cord, and you'd put in the tape deck, and so. Now you can have your music. I mean, I know this is like a very obvious statement, but it's weird to think about that they took so many different things, music, photos, communication, just everything. And now it's just all right here in the palm of our hand. It's so easy to forget like how advanced things are compared to, it isn't like kids who were born in 1998 or whatever, and they always knew a life with cell phones and internet.
Well, let's think about this. Like the first production automobile was built in 1915. I know it's 2024, but it's
not yet. It's 2023.
Okay. Well, it's about to be. Anyways, like, industrial society in the last 100 years has went from nothing to everything, and it advances very quickly. Like,
what were you saying the other day And you were saying maybe in 50 years or something we'll have self-driving cars. You were saying it'll be the norm in like 20 or 30 years. You were saying.
I didn't say it's even that long. Like, but yeah, I mean,
I think it's going to be way sooner.
Probably sooner, but literally in what I was saying is in 20 to 30 years,
it will 100% be normal.
It'll just be like
it'll just be the way.
You're like get in this car and just drives you
right.
everywhere. Like no one's going to have a driver's license at that point. You know?
That's true.
They're already figuring it out. But I understand what you're saying. Like the whole point is also too with this is that trackable. Like we've talked about cases like this, like on other episodes, or we're just talking about. Or I listened to it, and it's interesting because they're like, we don't have him tracked anywhere, but he also left his cell phone in his house for 3 hours. Like everybody's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
I was like, where are you going with this?
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you forgot your phone?
Yeah.
Who were you killing?
Yeah.
Who were you attacking? What were you doing that you didn't have
true.
your phone? You know what I mean? Because
I forget my phone sometimes, and when I have, initially, I think I've actually talked about this on here. Initially, it's like a small moment of panic almost, but then it's very wonderful. It's like, well, fuck it. I can't respond to any but emails or phone calls or text messages because I don't have my phone. Too bad.
There's nothing
Can
better.
you let him in, please?
Yeah.
I mean, these dogs are going to be the death of this podcast. I cannot handle it with the whining and the in, out. It's just a lot. And I'm sorry that this bonus is all over the place. Like I said, we were supposed to be doing the actual episode, but it just wasn't feeling right. So the bonuses are, more laid back. I actually love doing the bonuses. And I said to Jenna last night, sometimes I kind of wish that our podcast could just be us, just catching up and like doing trivia and talking about our favorite things from the week or, I don't really know. And she said, yeah, it doesn't really work unless you're a famous person because nobody cares. And I agree with her on that. We've both been listening to Justin Long's podcast with his brother where he kind of sits around and shoots the shit. And it's super entertaining and it's very relaxing. Like hearing it works well as like a background noise. So I was saying to Jenna that I would love it if our podcast could just be like on the whim, like just talking about whatever comes to mind, And she said, you can't really do that unless you're famous, which is
that's kind of
true. Yeah.
I mean, I care what you think, but
thank
not
you.
everybody might. I mean, I think you have like a bunch of followers that would give a shit.
I wouldn't say a bunch, but a handful that might care. But I think that most people are here for the true crime. And that's okay because we're a true crime podcast. So that's to be expected.
Well, let's get back to cell phone tracking then.
So
can I get into this for something real quick?
Okay.
Like I was saying before the dogs, is now it's weird if you don't have all these devices. Like even my truck is a 2015 and it's like, GPS everywhere. Like they can track you with that shit, you know?
Oh, that's a question that we have that we're going to get to.
But
you're jumping the shark here.
Jumping the shark?
I know
jumping the gun.
No. Okay, fine. Jumping the shark is a saying. And the last time I said it, you were like, that's not a saying.
Maybe in Finding Nemo, but not here,
Okay, keep going.
Okay, Dory.
Keep going, Dory.
Anyways, it's just, it's a weird thing that...
we can be tracked everywhere?
Yeah, you're tracked everywhere. So if you leave something, it's weird now.
Well, that's right. So if you leave your phone somewhere and you are murdering someone... they're going to figure that out because you didn't have your... it's like... I'm trying to say exactly what you're saying, and I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's like a time gap. You don't have an alibi. It's like... if
you hole in time.
Well, if you had your phone and they're all... he went to Wendy's, he went here, he went there, or whatever, it's like you're tracked.
You know what?
You know what you do is you just leave your phone in an Uber driver's car, and then you just go kill serial killer business, and then like...
That's great. I love that you're giving advice to like how... or that even in your brain you've thought of that.
No, I just thought about right now. I was like, that's a great thing. It's like, dude, like if you were an Uber driver, you're just like, but they would find it out because then that there's another phone involved in that. You're just fucked. Like just don't kill people.
I said jumping the shark, and I was using it totally. I was using it not totally wrong, but I was using it wrong. How I was using it is similar to jumping the gun, but it's not in the context of just anything. It's in the context of like creative works, like a TV show. It's reached a point where it's exhausted. It's done. Like when a TV show goes for too long,
Like beating a dead horse?
Yeah.
Like you're
It's
overdoing
used
it?
to argue that a creative work or entity has reached a point in which it has exhausted its core intent and is introducing new ideas that are like an over exaggeration. Like you're trying too hard at this point. So I used it incorrectly. I just wanted to put that out there because I figured we'd probably get something from somebody saying, that's not what it means.
So I was right.
Well, you were medium, right?
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, cell phone tracking back into the point.
Are our cell phones listening to us? This is a question that me and Jenna, I think, have said a million. Like everybody's had that question. You know, everyone's had the experience where you're talking about something and then you open your phone a couple hours later and all the ads or what shows up on Amazon. If I'm talking about, you know, Nike shoes, then I'm going to get all Nike. You know, your phone is listening. And so,
what do you think about that?
well, I looked it up. And it's a very...
You Googled it on your phone? Now they know.
It's a very complicated answer. The short answer is yes. Your smartphone is technically always listening to you because especially... I don't actually know how Androids work. I assume... Don't they have like a... Cortana is like the same as Siri or something, I believe. And because, you know, on my phone, if I say, hey, Siri...
It comes on.
It comes on and she asks me what I need. So obviously my phone is always listening for that, but it's also listening. It's, you know, it's not like it's not a silo. It's not only listening for Hey Siri and then it's blocking everything else out.
The biggest thing I can say about that situation is that when I worked for the electric company, I was the foreman there. I had a guy who was like always showing up late and missing Mondays and everything like that, and so he always blamed it on his blood pressure. Oh, my blood pressure was out of whack, so like I couldn't show up today and stuff. And like we had like,
is that like a viable excuse?
Whatever. I mean, it's a medical excuse, but
That seems weird.
I mean, he missed Mondays and like every day after a holiday weekend.
Oh, okay.
Like I mean, it's
his drinking was acting up, not his blood pressure.
They call it the bottle flu. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so, anyways, like after that, my work phone and my personal phone, both I get like emails and stuff. How to lower your blood pressure, all this shit. And I was like, this is like strange because like I've never Googled how to lower my blood pressure. You know what I mean?
Your blood pressure. You should.
I'm not worried about it.
You should be.
Yeah, I should be. But anyways, I know when you do searches, because like when I was looking for tools for woodworking and stuff like that, you look up stuff and then you get,
well, of
you
course.
know, a coupon
well, that's a given.
from this. Yeah,
Yes,
obviously
that's a
they're
given
going to do that.
when you're actually typing things in. But
It's
just
just like
speaking, like my phone's on the table and we're just talking. So I think
we should do a test and just say with our phones, like every day we talk about the same thing. Like we're all, you know, tricycles or like a certain type of ice cream and just say it all the time. Always have conversations like
and see if we get ads and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. I thought this was a good response to this question though. So the question shouldn't simply be, is my phone listening to me? Instead, you should ask yourself, how much does my phone listen to me and what does my phone do with the conversations that it collects? Do you remember when the Amazon Echo or Alexa, like all that came out, you know, like the little speakers? So I have like a little teeny Amazon Echo and
But your dad has like the whole thing.
He has the Google equivalent.
Yeah, what's the Google one?
Google Voice. Anyways, and I had that for a while, and it was cool. I liked being able to say, like, give me trivia questions and, like, play a game with it, kind of. But I didn't have it hooked up to, like, any lights or locks or, you know. Ultimately, it made me uncomfortable, and so it's sitting in a drawer. But I do remember when that, like...
It's still listening.
No, it's not plugged in.
Isn't it?
But I do remember...
I AirTagged it, so I know it's doing something.
When it came out, like when it first became popular, that the Echo and stuff, there was a lot of conversation about people who felt violated with how much it was listening at all times. And realistically, I think our phones are doing the exact same. They are doing the exact same thing. And it is legal. You know, all the terms and conditions that pop up on your phone, like with apps or
which
this.
no one ever reads.
Cookies and this. Yep. And so most of us are just generally saying, okay, accept, because you want to get to whatever you're trying to do.
Like you're downloading an app so you can like, you know, an Airbnb or something like that,
Yep.
or you need to get, you're like, oh, I'm an Uber guy, but now I need a Lyft because there's no Ubers. It's like 19,000 pages. You're all, whatever.
Yes,
Take my firstborn kid. Like,
Yes,
you can have my
exactly.
house. I just want to get home. I've been
Yeah.
drinking, you know?
Yep. I've been drinking. Wow.
Well, whatever.
Really
It doesn't-
personalized that
It doesn't even
example.
matter. You know what I mean? Like, everything. It's like,
No, no, I know. Everybody understands what we're talking about. We don't have to beat it dead.
terms
Like,
and
everyone
agreements
understands
of like
that you just
like a Fry's card or the Albertsons
yes,
card.
of course. Everyone, but yes, the digital ones where it's on a website or something, everyone just presses accept. But it is so most of the time we are giving consent in those things. Like that is a lot of times consent, at least according to this website. And to try and get your phone to stop listening to you, it's not really as simple. You know, I have like a cover on my webcam here that I close
Yeah.
so that you know nobody.
So no one can access your camera. Or
Yeah,
whatnot,
I mean that's a real thing.
no, it makes sense.
But it's not quite that easy. Like, yeah, you could cover your microphone with a piece of tape, or there's a special phone case, I guess
It's
you
all
can
muddled
get
or something.
that like covers up the speakers.
But then you can't hear the people talking to you and whatnot.
Right.
You know.
But the better approach is to review your microphone permissions granted across, like go into your settings and look through like your Siri permissions and your microphone permissions and like just turn that off. Like I have my location services off. So technically I think I can still be tracked, but it's like a lot less easy to be tracked if you do that.
Well, I've air tagged you now, so like it's fine, you know. I know exactly where you're going.
You know what's interesting is I can't remember who, but I think my friend Callie that I used to work with, teach with. I'm not sure exactly, but I think that's who. Her family, like her and her husband and her in-laws, they all were part of that.
Like the family thing, like where you track each other.
Yes.
Well, it's like my brother with his daughter. He's like, today we were like helping
Okay,
my mom
she's
build the
16.
fence. I know, but he's like, I see, because she's driving. It's my late father's old truck, and he's all, I've seen you stopped on the side of the road. It's a random place. He's all, is everything okay? She's like, yeah, it's fine. It's like so weird.
Okay, but that makes sense to me. If
I
a
know,
16-year-old
but
daughter
whatever.
driving for the first time in life, sure, and if I had a teenager, I would track them as well.
I get that, but there was a time when you couldn't do it. Like when I was a kid, like my
Of course
mom,
not.
like during the summertime when it wasn't
We
school,
all
like,
understand that when you
I
were
was
young,
like
300 years ago.
I was like 6 or 7 years old, and we lived near the.
You've told this before.
Toledo Wash. Like I would just go when it wasn't school or anything. I would just disappear into the desert for 8 to 12 hours.
Yes, I
My
know.
mom would be frantic. I got home. So it's 9 o'clock at night. You left at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I was just finding shit
Well,
in
that's
the
just
desert.
an asshole thing to do as a kid.
I was
for you.
adventurous. I always had like a
I was
knife or
adventurous.
something.
Okay.
But the whole point is I still survived, and everybody did survive.
I understand. We all understand that. You know, like
I miss-
people who are of this age understand that when we were younger, your parents couldn't track you, which there is some beauty and loveliness to that. I also think I'm not a parent, but if I were a parent and I had a teenager or a tween, that's useful. I would feel a little bit like I'm violating their privacy, and also it's a safety measure nowadays.
Yeah, the world's fucking crazy.
However, I do think it's odd in any other context outside of like a child. If you're a parent tracking a child, or an adult tracking like an elderly parent or something, fine. There's situations, but like if we were sharing our location with each other or whatever it is, it's an app or something, I guess.
It's like find your family.
Oh yeah,
wherever
find
they
your
go.
right. So like if we were doing that and I could see where you were all the time, or I was like, why isn't Mark home? And I just open my phone and can be like, well, he's here and he said he was here. I just feel like that's super odd. I mean, not that you or I or anybody's like doing anything sketchy or going anywhere that they shouldn't be, but
It just
it
seems
just feels
weird
like
and
such a
creepy, you know?
violation. Yeah, I can't get into that. So the one other question that we had was, so David, the victim in the story, the way that they like got further along in finding him was his car had a GPS tracker in it because he was leasing it. And it dinged in a place in Arizona called the Arizona Strip. Do you know what that is?
The Arizona Strip?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not aware of this.
It's an area of just desolate
Are you talking about
desert.
on the way to Vegas?
It's in It's in the north of Arizona.
Yeah, it's like
close to Utah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Jenna had never heard of it either.
It's like constant, like safe phones, like every mile. Like there's nothing out there.
There's nothing out there. There's almost no roads. Like it's just for ranchers, really. Desolate, and that's where David died. The mother of his child, and her boyfriend / roommate captured him from his home, and left him, beat him, and then left him in the middle of the Arizona Strip with no water, no shoes.
What time of year was it?
Warm time of year.
Doesn't matter, even if it's like winter.
Doesn't matter. He was 40 miles from anything in the middle of the desert.
40 miles average walking speed with water is 5 miles an hour. Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, they also like beat the shit out of him before they left him there. But that was the first big clue that police had, was to go, they realized that he was leasing a car. They went to the company or dealership where he was leasing it from, said, "Are you tracking this car?" They said yes, and they found his GPS dings, 2 dings in the Arizona Strip, and they had it out there. They didn't find anything initially, but
they left him out there, took his car back, so it showed that he died out there, but his car miraculously drove back.
No, they ditched his car somewhere random.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So the question that Jenna asked, I think, was, do cars that are purchased, like not leasing, I bought my car, but I paid it off for years. I just recently finished paying it off. So it wasn't leased. Do those, like in those situations, is there trackers in your car? And it's not typical, but there are, I guess, 3 situations where GPS trackers are installed in cars. Places called buy here, pay here lots, where the dealership itself is providing the financing. These cater to typically very, very poor credit customers.
Yeah, it's like like the payday loan place.
Right.
Like, they need to know where it's at, because they're going to have to scoop it up in 2 weeks.
Right. So the GPS trackers are there to assist in repossession, apparently, which can be common at these type of places.
Can I name one? Most all company vehicles or work trucks.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. Similar to the above situation, except some banks require it. Like if you're
a high risk loan or something.
A big national lender sometimes will cater to poor credit customers. Again, it's not secretly installed, but they're also not saying like, just so you know, there's a GPS. You know what I mean? I mean, It's there. They're not hiding it. And some new car big franchise dealers are installing GPS trackers and requiring their purchase. Like you have to purchase them to be installed, but it's not for the dealer or the bank. It's for the customer. You have an app on your phone to track your own car and get basic I don't know how to say this word. Telemetry data. It's for safety, theft recovery, to keep an eye on your kids who may borrow your car. It's,
Yeah, it's bullshit. Like, they're tracking your car.
Yeah. And so I also looked on Reddit, because sometimes they have good information on there rather than just like Googling something. And this guy responded to a question like this and said, "I'm a former repo man here."
I know a repo guy.
Okay. "I know for a fact some banks like Regional Acceptance Corp will require GPS to be installed depending on credit. Buy here, pay here lots have been around for a while, are definitely installing them. And some cars just have like that OnStar system."
Yeah, I mean,
my car has that, but it's not like hooked up. I put this question in. I don't remember because I researched this lookup a long time ago. "Can a car dealer track my car via GPS after I've paid it off?" And somebody's response said, "I paid off my vehicle over a month ago. The dealer called to ask if they could get their unit off of my car. I asked them what they were talking about, and she informed me that they had a GPS tracker on my car. I went out and removed it as my car is paid off. There was no disclosure or any kind of agreement in my contract allowing the GPS tracking."
Throw it in the trash.
And so she was like, "I feel violated," which, yeah, that's weird if that's happening. So that's not really, I don't really have like a concrete answer to that. It seems like in certain situations, yes. I think just the overall message is like, we're being tracked all the time.
Well, I don't think it's on all
Everywhere.
vehicles because, like, when...
Well, not older ones, like Jenna's car.
No, but I mean, my last work truck that I had was a 2018, and they installed GPS trackers on them. Yeah, it's like the safe driver things, because I would get, like, emails from the safety. It's like, you had a fast brake or a hard acceleration, something like that. You know what I mean? My truck had, like, the, Sirius radio and everything, like, whatever it was. So it already has that. Like, it still has GPS. Like, I can drive it. Like, I don't pay for anything, but it's still there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't look at a map on the screen in my car or anything like that because I don't pay for any of those services. But I'd imagine there's probably still some type of tracking going on in there. I don't really know. Again, what I was going to say
What
is...
year was this case at?
I don't remember. What I was going to say
North of 2000? I think most vehicles, like, in the last 10 to 15 years probably have some sort of, like, at least the last 10 years, have a tracking. And it doesn't matter because you have your phone.
This was 2016. This case took place.
Okay, so it's a while ago.
Not really. It's like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
2016.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Like I said, 10 to 15 years, something like that.
Okay.
Whoa.
God, I've been trying to say something for 10 minutes.
Think about, like,
oh my God.
the old bank robbers and shit like that. Like, you just literally, like, you just had to buy a car that was faster than the cops, which means you just need to get a V8 or a V6. You just outrace them, and you just go to the next town, and you're like, my name is Bob Willis. It was very simple. It was very easy to get away with things, you know?
Oh, you just let me know when I can talk, because I keep trying to talk, and you just keep...
Step in, it is your episode.
This has become now
I'm just a filler.
All I was trying to say for the past 10 minutes is that basically the overall message of this entire stupid lookup, because we really didn't even like have that interesting of an information, is everything we do and say is being listened to and tracked, and that's what's happening. So there's no anonymity today. You can't just go off the grid. You know, Oliver always says, like, I'm going OTG, off the grid. It's really fucking hard to do that.
In Antarctica?
No, his family has a compound in Colorado, but I'm bummed that we didn't get the other episode recorded. I'm a little bit frustrated with myself that I had alcohol this weekend because I've been doing so good.
Well, at least the dogs are really calm and quiet now.
I guess that is one positive.
So you guys are not recording anymore?
I know. We're about to like wrap up, and now they're quiet finally. Let's see. I did want to share shit.
Share shit?
No, like what I was watching or listening to. I've been listening to Justin Long's podcast per my sister's recommendation. It's actually very, it's easy listening. I feel like they're funny and it's lovely. And the morning show obviously is fantastic. You have not been watching that. I have.
Well, I started like the third season because you'd watched all of it. So
yeah,
like now I'm watching it. I like it.
Everything. All right. Well, I guess we should wrap up and have our hot wings, and maybe tomorrow I'll be in a better mood and you're actually in a pretty good mood. So this is actually my fault.
Great mood all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Positivity.
Yeah, you are usually in a good mood. And then hopefully me and Jenna will be able to find time to do another episode, a couple episodes before me and Mark go out of town, because I think we are going to take those 2 weeks off.
You're taking them off.
Well, I know I'm not going to be recording. I'm not bringing a computer with me or anything. I'm just saying I don't think me and Jenna are going to like pressure ourselves to try and get a bunch of episodes recorded, so that we're just going to go dark for 2 weeks, I think.
Well, we will be getting tracked by our phones.
Well, and we will be. I'm going to, to a reasonable degree, take pictures and videos and document our trip and then share that, somewhere. Not all of it, but some of it. I feel like it could be interesting. Maybe we'll find a murder in Belize. Hopefully not us.
Well, yeah. I mean, how could we report it then?
That's true. Well, maybe one of us survives.
Well, then we're going to definitely look at your fucking information and see where you were at, yeah?
I was
all, she was at Tipsy Tuna, she lied.
The Tipsy Tuna. If anybody listening, I think I've asked this before and I haven't heard anything, but if anybody listening, I feel like somebody listening has to have been to Belize, right? I mean, we don't have that many listeners, but...
Out of all 100 million people out there...
Well, they're not all listening.
No. the listeners, the 100 million people that listen to this podcast, if any of you happen to have gone to Belize, any good information would be nice to know. You know?
Yeah. We'd love any tips. That would be very helpful. And, but I just want to start saying that now so that people aren't shocked by the fact that we don't put out a new episode for 2 weeks. Do you see that bone and how it is standing perfectly upright on the ground? That's weird.
That is weird that the dog did that.
Yeah.
You should take a picture of that right now and share it on their
That's
Insta,
true.
whatever.
I should, so that people know what I'm...
Because we've been sitting here for the whole time, and I definitely didn't do that.
I didn't do that either.
You know what? I have an air tag in that bone, so we could probably figure it out.
You know, I posted a picture of Indiana sleeping while I was working out the other day, and only one listener noticed the foot hanging down in
Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah.
Like, what a nice foot in the
said, like,
fireplace.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought that was cool.
You're all, yeah, my boyfriend was cleaning it, and it turns out he's not around anymore.
Aw. You think I would just keep your foot hanging? I hate feet.
Yeah, you're also very tidy, so like
I
yeah.
am very tidy, yeah. I would never leave a dead foot hanging around here.
Sweet.
Or a foot of any kind, actually. All right, we're going to eat chicken wings and go to bed. I'm exhausted.
Let's get out of here. Let's be done.
And let's try again tomorrow for the real episode.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for listening. Sorry, I'm a little bit cranky, so this is probably not my best work on the bonus.
Maybe you should save it as the Grinch episode for Christmas. It's coming around.
You know what you did say to me, though, is and several people have, I need to stop apologizing all the time.
I mean, to me, yes, but no.
To everybody else, I need to stop apologizing. To you, you obviously don't want me to stop apologizing.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit that I have. I just,
No, you said sweet.
Oh, thanks. Okay, let's wrap this the fuck up. Bye, guys. This comes out tomorrow, so happy Monday, and thanks for listening.
Have a fantastic week.
Yes, indeed. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Death by Southwest is hosted by Jenna Schneider and Margot Carmichael.
Executive produced by Margot Carmichael.
Produced by Jenna Schneider.
Audio editing and sound design by Margot Carmichael.
Music by Soundstripe.
And a special thanks to Edward R. Murrow for letting us borrow his famous sign-off phrase, good night and good luck.